Rob Pelinka and the Los Angeles Lakers have made their offseason priorities abundantly clear. Surround their star backcourt of Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves with more size, length, athleticism, and defensive versatility. Whether or not LeBron James is part of the discussion is to be determined, but it's a given the Lakers need role players who can maximize the strength of their stars while covering for their weaknesses. If the front office truly wants to execute on that vision of bringing on board more size, length, athleticism, and defensive versatility, there's a surprisingly affordable path to do so with 3 low-risk, high-reward veteran minimum signings. That being landing a trio of Lonnie Walker, Jonathan Isaac, and Kai Jones. What makes this strategy so appealing is simple. All 3 are unrestricted free agents or international players with an NBA opt-out and are likely available for the veterans minimum. That means the Lakers could dramatically improve their roster without sacrificing flexibility or valuable assets. For a team trying to contend now while maximizing the prime years of Luka Doncic and maintaining long-term flexibility, that kind of efficiency is invaluable. Starting with Lonnie Walker, this feels like a natural reunion. Laker fans already know what Lonnie Walker brings to the table, not just because he's a fan favorite, but because he's repeatedly shown ability to swing a game with his explosiveness. Walker's athleticism immediately addresses one of the Lakers' biggest need, vertical spacing. With Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves orchestrating the offense, defenders will have to be forced to help off ball to contain dribble penetration and playmaking, and that creates plenty of opportunities for smart cutters and elite athletes to punish defenses. Walker thrives in exactly those situations, as his ability to attack on backdoor cuts gives the Lakers a genuine lob threat from the wing, an option that very few teams have. Pairing Luka Doncic's elite playmaking abilities with Walker's ability to burst and leap out of the building would generate a lot of easy looks. Beyond half-court actions, Walker is also devastating in transition. The Lakers have often struggled to convert defensive stops into fast break points with consistent explosiveness, and Lonnie Walker changes that instantly. He runs the floor hard, finishes above the rim, and injects athletic energy into any lineup he's a part of. Then there's Jonathan Isaac, who we talked about in the past, as he makes for arguably the most intriguing fit out of the 3. If the Lakers are serious about adding length and defensive versatility, Isaac's almost a prototypical solution. When healthy, he's one of the most unique defenders in basketball, a true Swiss Army knife with rare size, length, instincts, and mobility. At his best, Jonathan Isaac could guard all 5 positions. Few players in the league could legitimately switch from defending point guards on the perimeter to protecting the rim against centers, and Jonathan Isaac's one of those few players. That kind of defensive flexibility becomes especially valuable in playoff basketball where teams relentlessly hunt mismatches. Luka and Austin Reeves provide elite offensive creation, but both benefit enormously when surrounded by long, disruptive defenders who could erase mistakes and shrink the floor. Jonathan Isaac does exactly that. He generates deflections, contests shots without fouling, protects the rim as a weak side helper, and gives coaches endless lineup flexibility. Offensively, Isaac doesn't need the ball to impact winning, and that's another reason why he fits so well next to ball-dominant creators like Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves. He's always been more comfortable operating as an off-ball catch-and-shoot option, spacing the floor while allowing the offense to flow through the stars. He understands his role and doesn't need touches to stay engaged, and that kind of low-maintenance skill set's perfect for a contender. Finally, there's Kai Jones, who offers something the Lakers desperately need at the backup center position, elite athletic upside. Simply put, Jones is one of the best athletes at his position. He jumps out of the gym and possesses the kind of explosiveness that immediately changes the geometry of the court. The case can be made he's even more athletic, agile, and coordinated than current backup center Jackson Hayes. Luka has built a superstar career out of making athletic bigs look spectacular, so give him a center who can sprint in screens, dive hard to the basket, and finish lobs well above the square, and the pick and roll between Luka Doncic and Kai Jones would be nearly impossible to defend. His elite rim running ability forces defenses into difficult choices, either step up to try to contain Luka and risk an alley-oop, or stay attached to their big and give Luka space to operate. But Jones brings more than just highlight dunks. For a player his size, his foot speed is incredibly impressive. He moves fluidly in space and has the agility to switch onto smaller players in many ways that traditional centers can't. The mobility is crucial in today's switch-heavy defensive schemes. Against guard-heavy teams, Jones wouldn't be played off the floor as easily as slower big men would. So just to recap, the signings of Lonnie Walker, Jonathan Isaac, and Kai Jones would make for a huge win for the Lakers, as Walker adds perimeter athleticism and transition explosiveness, Isaac adds elite defensive length and positional versatility, while Jones adds vertical spacing, rim protection potential, and front court athleticism. Each addresses a clear roster weakness, each complements Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves, and perhaps most importantly, each comes at only the veterans minimum. So let me know down in the comment section below, with free agency set to kick off next week, which free agents do you want the Lakers to sign in hopes of putting together a roster that has more size and athleticism? But that's it for the video. Take it easy, guys.
The season at 250, what are you at now?
I'm probably like 235 right now. I probably want to come into next season like 230 and try my best to maintain that.
Jeff spoke a little earlier about the potential of swapping, making trades during the offseason. As someone that's been here your whole career, how does that make you feel going into an offseason?
Yeah, it's tough, man. You don't know. It's not something that I've had to experience, so it's definitely is new and different. But it's the league. It is what it is. Thoroughly enjoyed my time here in Orlando. I love Orlando. Would love to stay, but kind of let the cards fall they may.
What did you make of the struggles this team had to shoot the ball from outside this year?
Tough. I mean, I'm definitely in that. With my struggles to shoot the ball this year, definitely became a mental thing for me as it went on throughout the season, and trying to stay positive and just kind of shoot myself out of it because shot it decently well last season, and so it's been tough. It's definitely something I'm gonna try my best to recalibrate throughout the summer and kind of get back to myself as a player that I know I am.
As a team, how much do you feel like the team-wide shooting struggles were that it just became a mental block at a certain point?
Yeah, I think so. If you watch us shoot any other time, we make a lot of shots. But I think once it's hard once everybody's kind of have that kind of monkey on their back about making shots. To now, when you get the open one, it's like we got to make this. And so it's tough. It's definitely something that comes with mental toughness and having to deal with. And so
How do you regain your shot?
I think honestly, just the repetition is obviously one thing, but I really think it is just kind of letting some things go in terms of just the season and kind of resetting mentally and just attacking it again. Just one step at a time, getting back in the gym, getting a lot of shots up this summer, and but I know it's there. It really is just a mental thing.
Last summer was your first one fully healthy in a while. Using that, how do you then go into this summer? How do you plan to attack it?
Just time on court. I think a lot of my time last summer was spent, in the weight room, putting on weight and everything like that, and not as much time as I would have liked to be, on the court, really, putting in reps, jumping up and down and stuff. And so, I think that showed. So this summer is something I'm really going to attack to be on the court as much as possible.
Jeff kind of said like this, there's a win now mentality, at least how he does his job. Jamal said, this team isn't going to accept mediocrity.
Right.
They aspire to be a champion team. How does that kind of permeate the rest of the roster and affect how you guys are looking to improve this offseason and kind of, I don't want to say make up for this season, but kind of bounce back from some of the struggles of the season?
Yeah, I mean, we want to win. We wanted to win all season. I don't think that it would be, I think, like healthy or wise to come into next season feeling like we have to, make up for this one. I think that, we were dealt, some tough cards, and, we were still there at the end, to couple the last few minutes of a few of those games go our way, and we're in a different conversation. So I think we're fine. Obviously, everybody's going to work as hard as they possibly can to be a better player and, be in a better position to win in this next season. But I think it's just something you got to, let come.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Appreciate y'all.
One more question, if I may. I'm sorry. You guys are fast tonight. You know what it's like to be a lottery pick and the expectations. What kind of growth did you see from Paolo and Franz, who faced similar roads you faced that way?
Huge, man. They're they've become exceptional elite players in a league that they're deserving of a lot of respect. They've had a lot on their shoulders. You're talking about the shooting. They've had the